Hey there, konnichiwa minasan, it's Gray from Wakazashi's Tea House over in Japan. I hope you're good. I hope you're feeling genki. Okay, yes, I have another issue of The Ambassadors to review. Here we go. I'm catching up on the last few weeks. So Ambassadors issue 5 dropped last Wednesday. I think it was the 24th of May, priced at $3.99. This issue written again by Mark Millar, but it's got art by a different artist again. Matteo Buffagni, I think it's how you pronounce it. And I've got to say, the art is what really impressed me about this issue, because if I'm being honest, this one was a little bit disappointed. Maybe because I was quite hyped for this. From reading what Mark Millar was saying in the solicits, he really hyped up this issue and hyped up the character. Now, to be fair, the main character in this, Bob Taylor, you can see on this awesome cover here, he is cool, he is a good character, but some of the kind of story points felt a little bit contrived, if you know what I mean. So I've not properly reviewed this yet on the review sites, but I'll read a little bit from a comment I gave her in a reply to somebody else who was kind of saying the same thing as me. Like, basically, yeah, a little bit disappointed because of the overhype by Millar. As I was saying, Bob Taylor, this Australian ambassador, he is an interesting character, but he felt underdeveloped. I wanted more of his story. Also, the reason for letting him join the team, it felt too convenient, pretty much too contrived. And this reviewer, they put an interesting point. Maybe it was Millar having a bit of a sneaky go at Marvel and the whole Iceman, if you know the character of Iceman and what they did to Iceman, that kind of decision behind that, or it could just be coincidence. And also with this issue, regarding the villains, now the villain subplot has been slowly being put into the story. The first few issues, there wasn't much in it. You got maybe one or 2 pages just at the end of the issue. So there's not been much build up. And then suddenly from last issue, and then especially this issue, we're getting 5 or 6 pages of the villain story. So it feels like they're trying to cram too much in. Almost like too little too late. But again, that's difficult because they've been focusing on each of the country ambassadors with each issue, and there's only been 5 issues so far. And believe it or not, it's the finale next issue. So I'm kind of curious to see how he's going to tie it all together, whether it's going to feel like really rushed and really crammed in, or whether it will pay off well. Yeah, as I say, with focusing on each hero in each issue, it feels like there hasn't been enough space or time to develop the villain's story or the villain's motivations deeply enough. Anyway, but the art, as I say, the art is top quality. It's great. And what I'll do as usual, I'll give you my story summary. I'm not going to spoil the ending. I'm going to leave it with quite a few pages to go. But yeah, just give you a glimpse at some of the art, some of the story points, and yeah, some commentary on what I liked about it. Okay, so please keep watching. Here we go. My name's Bob Taylor, and 6 weeks ago I was pissing in my shorts. This is how the book opens. We see the Australian ambassador, Codename Australia. It's Bob Taylor charging out of the page. Then we get this great double page spread here where he's doing a leap. It looks like a leap of faith. Is that an avalanche behind him? He doesn't quite make the jump, hits the side of the cliff, crashes down on a rock on the ground. He's looking in trouble. Is he okay? Australia, are you okay? Yeah, just took a few lumps. Nothing quite as bad as I got in the footy back in the old days. Look, I'm sorry. I can't keep up this poor attempt at an Australian accent. Don't kill me out there if you're watching from Australia, which, according to my YouTube stats, you aren't. But anyway, welcome. This is how the book opens. We've got Bob Taylor, and we see that he's a senior Australian ambassador. And we start to get his backstory in a minute, but first, just check this out. I love this bit here. He's on a search and rescue mission for some hikers hiking for charity, and they got lost. It's in Siberia. It's called the Siberian Rescue. Bob Taylor asks what the charity was that they were hiking for, and he gets told, vegan awareness, sir. Christ, why did I fucking ask? That just pretty much sums him up. So here we go. We get his backstory. He was, he is old. He's 72 years old. Stuck with liver spots, cataracts, prostate cancer, chronic hypertension. My life was shot to hell. But now he feels like he's 35. He's got access to over 50 different superpowers. How the hell did that happen? Then we get to see Bob Taylor's interview with the Korean head of the ambassadors, the one who started it all, Dr. Chun Hae Chung. Is there a problem, Miss Chung? Taylor reminds her that the ad said they'll take anybody, old or young, fat or fit. They can turn them into a superhero. But this is not the concern, not his age, not his health. We're supposed to be turning you into superheroes because of something you did that was good. So despite Bob Taylor being a rugby star, the Deputy Prime Minister for Australia, your entire career appears to have been a litany of racist and homophobic attacks. Come on, a man can change. So he admits to being a little bit off colour, as he said. I was just playing the crowd, but I came here to make an offer to you guys. When you hear what I'm going to say, I reckon you might change your mind. Then we cut back to the mission, back to Siberia. They've picked up a heat signal, thermal signatures, 2 miles west. Bob Taylor downloads speed, endurance and temperature control. I can see them, they're still alive. Then we switch back to the interview. The big shock, the big reveal is, you're gay? Turns out the whole time Bob was just doing a cover story. He was married. Yeah, the big talk was all a cover. Now, I don't know about this. It's kind of, to me, it kind of feels contrived. It's a bit convenient. It's like, okay, just because he's gay, they kind of forgive him for all these years, you know, of like, not really hate speech, but that's what they class it as these days, isn't it? But he argues that he wants a chance, a second chance, you know, to do it again. If I could do it again, I'd do it different. What do you think? Asks Dr. Chung's assistant. And she says that she quite likes the idea of somebody changing their ways, but there's one condition. This is the one occasion where the public must know your identity. People need to hear about his change of heart. All right, mate, that's done. Put her there. And he offers a hand. He offers a handshake after spitting on his hand. Back to the rescue mission. He's there. He's found them. Oi, vegans, fret not. Big Bob Taylor's gonna save your skinny arses. So what he does is he forms an igloo around them and starts to heat them up. He's asking if they can teleport, but there's really bad weather conditions and it's restricting the chance to do a safe teleport from there. Bob Taylor tells her not to worry about it. I'll keep the boys nice and warm. I've gone like London Cockney. It's, you know, it's really hard to try and do an Australian accent and not sound like trying to do a London accent, which I can't do anyway. Should I change it to my Manchester accent? Don't worry, sweetheart. All good here. The boys are wrapped up nice and warm. We can sit it out until you're back online. Sorry, Bob. I've made you Mancunian. But then, this is insane. This like comes from nowhere. From above, a plane. A plane is coming down to crash right where they are. Oh my God. It does. It comes in and it crashes through the ice. We're told it's a Malaysian jet with 100 screaming passengers, maybe more. Where the hell did that thing come from? Now Bob's got to make a very tough decision. It's either the vegans or it's the passengers from the plane. And he says, well, you know, numbers rule here. I've got to go for the higher number. Sorry, the vegans, but he's got to let them go. Then, suddenly in the distance, he sees what appears to be a glowing figure in the icy water. Who's this? With a bit of a dodgy haircut. The figure appears to have mysterious powers. Superpowers. Is it a meta-human? Is it one of the ambassadors? Oh my God. The vegans are rescued. He's put them into protective bubbles of some kind. And he's using his powers to lift the plane out of the icy water. Okay, pal, your turn. Turn the temperature up. Let's get some heat into these poor sods. What? Bob Taylor can't believe it. Who are you, mate? Before he lets them know, he tells Bob that, look, I've saved your lives, but now I need you to do me a favour. This has to stay secret. Let Crocodile Dundee here take all the credit. And Taylor asks why he can't tell anyone. Do you think you're the only super people on the planet? There's some scumbags out there doing terrible things. They'd rip me apart if they ever tracked me down. These are the richest men in the world, and they'll be coming after you very soon. Who are you, mate? And we get his name. It's Jamie McPhail. Let's just say I'm an early draft of you. Now, again, this is not clear with me. Is this the same Jamie that we saw in the very first issue? If you've read it, if you've seen that, if you've not, like, go back and check it out. Because I'll just say this without spoiling things. his face looks very, very different to how he looked in that first issue when he was a young, looked like a not young boy, but a young teenage hybrid of some kind. Anyway, back to the story. Jamie shares some of his backstory. The old pulled out of an orphanage, trained by doctors, and he was supposed to be terminated, but they let him go by the sound of it. And then that's it. Suddenly, he disappears. The weather's cleared. Bob Taylor gets a message from the ambassador's headquarters. The weather's clear now, we're good to go as soon as you want to teleport. Shit, where the hell did you go? Okay, there are still 6 pages of story to go, but I don't want to spoil the ending. We get the villain side of the story here at the end now, and it's, it gets a bit scary, it gets a bit rough and violent, and it's leading up to the finale. If you believe it or not, next issue is the finale, so I'll stop my story summary here. And there we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that review. As I say, trying to spoil in the ending, but what do you think? Like, it's, maybe I was a little bit too overly critical in my opening review, but I did enjoy it. I just felt like it wasn't as great as I was hoping it was going to be. But anyway, enough from that. Here is the preview of next issue, which, as I said, it's the grand finale already. It's going to be out on the 7th of June, all coming together. And we've got art by Matteo Scalera for that. Okay, great. Looking forward to seeing him again. And also there's an advertisement for this. This is what I'm looking forward to. A lot of people looking forward to. It's the big crossover event of the summer in the Millar world. It's called Big Game. Of course it is. It's by Mark Millar and Pepe Larraz. So the first issue of that goes on sale on the 19th of July. Looking forward to it. Okay, that's it from the review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Please give me a sub or give me a like. That'd be great. And I'd love to have you as part of the Wakizashi Tea House Dojo. So as always, just let me say thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in a future video. This is Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House, signing off for the afternoon here. Matane.